And at other levels, there continue to be great concerns after the budget, and especially in light of some of the stories we were showing you earlier about the possibility for drought, as to whether all the spending that the government announced this time, and which it seemed to take so much pride in, whether any of that would actually get to the people who need it the most. Joining us, two people who have some of those concerns but have different, perhaps, answers as to how it can be solved. Surjit Bhalla, MD of Oxus Fund Management, and Shankar Aiyer, Senior Congress Leader. Thank you both so much for joining us. Shankar Aiyer, you've been repeatedly expressing concern on delivery mechanisms. Let's face it, the Congress party has ruled this country for the larger period since independence, and by and large, all governments have done an absolutely shocking job in governments do a great job of announcing big spending. They do a shocking job of actually getting that spending to the people who need the money, or the people for whom that money is intended.
We've increased by 15 times over the last 15 years the amount of money that is dedicated to anti-poverty, livelihood and social security schemes. At the moment it's running at nearly 1.5 lakh crore rupees. But the outcomes are not commensurate with the increased outlays. So while money is obviously required for tackling problems of poverty, the question does arise as to why is increased expenditure not leading to commensurate outcomes. And I think the answer was found by Rajiv Gandhi 25 years ago, which is that instead of the money being spent through bureaucratic mechanisms, we should just make it available to the elected representatives of the people in the panchayats and the nagar palikas, and then let them decide how they wish to spend this money.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the opinion leaders between elections spend their time getting terribly upset about what these 2 lakh people who are on the stock market think, instead of asking themselves the question as to should the impact of the budget be measured by what happens on the stock market, or be measured in terms of how people, the vast majority of Indians, the 83 crore who are living on less than 20
Right, Shankar, let me get an answer. Let me just butt in and get Surjit Bhalla in here. Surjit Bhalla, obviously, the effect of a budget or the effect of anything should not be measured by what's happening at the stock market. It's just an indicator. You'd probably agree with the first part of what Shankar Aiyer said. I think it's absolutely shocking that it's no point having these massive allocations for spending on anti-poverty measures or anything else if the money doesn't actually get to the poor. But what would be your solution to this?
Well, one, I substantially agree with what Mani said, but there are 2 points of disagreement, if you will, and that might be a useful departure for this discussion. One, he mentioned about Rajiv Gandhi, and is absolutely right. Rajiv Gandhi was the first one to point out that only 15% of the money actually reached the poor. Where I think money is missing out is that Rajiv Gandhi actually turned out to be a wild-eyed optimist. Actually, it is substantially less than 15% that actually gets to the poor. It's closer to 10. So that's the first part of my disagreement, if you will. But the second is more substantive, and that is that money wants to, or the policy money is proposing is to give it to panchayats. The policy that I am proposing, and a lot of economists around the world are proposing, is rather than give it to the panchayat, which is yet another intermediary, and if you will, in my book is tainted by the same brush. They are political intermediaries, and we know what political intermediaries have done, precisely what money is complaining about. So therefore, given that we've got all the technology in the world, given that we've got now Nandan Nilekani actually on a unique identification project, why not just transfer money to the poor? One more thing that I want to add on this is, the Congress actually believes, a large elements of the Congress to be accurate, believes that Narega, and certainly not money given what he said, but large elements of the Congress believes that Narega has won them this election. Nothing could be further from the truth.